Now, let's be honest, this is non-scripted, like all of my videos are, because I don't want to waste my time creating a script. So, I don't know how this video is gonna work, per se, but I just wanted to make a short video on the aftermath after the Pacers got swept. Well, it wasn't like, oh, we got destroyed swept. It was, we can't close games swept. This one doesn't show it, obviously, because this one went to overtime. Where is it at? Oh, I should have clicked the fourth. In this game, we have the ball in the last 10 seconds, and we turn it over because we couldn't inbound it, so we couldn't get fouled. Then Jaylen Brown makes the game-tying free throw 3 shot, and of course, game goes to overtime. They win. Second game, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is when Hallie got re-injured, but yeah, we really weren't contending in this game, obviously. But the real story here is in both Game 3 and Game 4, where we had basically 10-point leads in both games, and we choked them both way. On this game, go to the play-by-play. If you look, it was 97 to 104 with 4 minutes left. And then 99 to 107 and 101 to 109 with 2:38 left. We really don't make any shots after that. They get 3 after 3, which I admit is impressive. Tatum makes a 3. Al Horford makes a 3. Drew makes the layup and 1. And, of course, we lose the game off of that because Nembhard misses the shot. Then Nembhard, of course, gets a rebound, but then Drew steals it. And that's the game, really. Although, Obi Toppin did have a chance there at the end there. That's where we ran that football play. It almost worked, but we would have went to overtime anyway. We probably would have lost. And then Game 4, game that was played yesterday, we were up by 11 with like 8 minutes to go. But we were up like 9 or 8 when there was like a minute. We also couldn't score at all. Yeah, it was 98 to 90 with 5 minutes left. And 102 to 98 with 3 minutes left. And, you know, they score 2 baskets. Then none of us can shoot at all. And then Derek White makes the game-winning 3. As Nembhard misses the 3-point, and we lose. Because we can't get a rebound. So, after talking about that, I want to get to the main point of the video. And is that over the past few weeks, I've noticed something about the NBA. Is that they don't like basketball. They don't like other teams winning. Yes, I want to put this out. Injuries. Both the Bucks and the Knicks, and us, to be honest, along with the 76ers, and even a bit of the Celtics, we all had injuries. Obviously, the Knicks were the most ravaged by injuries, with like what, 5-6 players out, at least at the end of game 7. But these guys act, at least what I've seen, like just because they were injured, they were entitled to win the games that they lost. Just because they're injured, that means that the opposing team should just give away the game because, what, they feel bad? The opposing team should just sit there, stone-faced, and absolutely not care when they make the finals or the Eastern Conference Finals. Those teams obviously don't care when they play an injured team, but when we play an injured team, it's our fault. Some things that I've noticed over the past few days and weeks, and I want to put this out there. If the Knicks were healthy, I do think that the Pacers lose. But also, if the Bucks were healthy, I still think the Pacers take that series. But guess what? We're talking in ifs here. I can do the same thing. I can be like, well, we choked 3 games. If the coach knew how to end games and the players had any clutch genes this series, we could be up 3-1 right now. What would the narrative be like then? And if I wanted to be really bad, I could be like, oh, well, we didn't have Benedict Mathurin for the entire playoffs. He got injured late season. We didn't have Tyrese Halliburton the last 2 games. We didn't have the GOAT, Jalen Smith. Okay? We didn't have Jalen Smith. We didn't have the absolute GOAT that is Jalen Smith. And you're telling me you want us to win Game 4 without the GOAT? There's the GOAT right here. You want us to win Game 4 without the GOAT? He was like, he had like a sickness or something. He was sick. And you're telling me you want us to win without the GOAT? No. That is crazy. Oh. Alright, back to the topic of the video. Let me just go through, or at least talk about, a few things that these Bucks and Knicks fans have said. 1, if we weren't injured, we would have beat them. And like I said, I do think that the Knicks would have lost. I mean, 1, if they had every single player. I do not, however, think that the Bucks would have won if they had every single player. I think that the Bucks would have lost in 7. And that's just obvious when you look back at the regular season record, where we went 4-1 against them. Two, they only celebrate when they're ahead. Every team in the NBA does that. Every team celebrates when they're ahead. Every team talks when they're ahead. Because they're ahead. The Mavs talk when they're ahead. The Knicks talked when they were ahead. The Bucks talked when they were ahead. But we don't see anyone getting mad at that. We get made fun of because we're celebrating and we're happy when they want us to just give the game away and act like, oh, since they're injured, we can't be happy. We can't do anything. We just gotta shoot the basketball, stone-faced, no care in the world. Who cares? It'll be like if the Celtics they win the finals, but Luka and Kyrie both get injured. And I've seen this because it's the same thing with the Pacers. Now, I'm not the biggest Celtics fan. I don't like the Celtics. No one really liked the Celtics until all of a sudden everyone liked the Celtics because, the Pacers are Satan incarnate. I was seeing people get mad at the Celtics for celebrating when they are going to the finals. You might say, oh, they played a team without Jimmy Butler, without Donovan Mitchell, without Tyrese Halliburton. They made the finals. That's all that matters. It should have been the same thing for us and them. It's been the same thing. Every single team in the East and the West are getting mad at both the Celtics and the Pacers for playing and being happy that they're beating teams just because the other team is injured. It doesn't make sense. And let me tell y'all something, Knicks fans. Embiid was injured like half of that series. 76ers had some injuries. You didn't bat an eye there. You didn't really care there. So, I don't understand the narrative that you can't be happy, you can't talk when you're ahead, and you can't be happy when you're winning just because the other team's injured. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. 3, and this is the most recent one, I've been seeing people saying that Halliburton's faking his injury. Halliburton was injured a long time ago. And he's played horrible ever since then until we played the Knicks. And he gets re-injured game 2 or something. He's out for game 3 and game 4. Luckily, my boy Andrew Nemhard, he clutched up, obviously. Look back at the stats. That's the standings. Go look back at the stats. Nembhard had 32 points game 3. And then for this game, he had 24. Carrying the team in both terms. Nembhard stepped up when Halliburton was out. And we're grateful for that. But Halliburton's obviously would have been the better player if he wasn't injured. And I know it's probably just a faint few people that are talking about that, obviously. But I've still seen it. And it doesn't make any sense. Why would he fake an injury on a hamstring that he already injured earlier in the season just to not play? Now, I get you guys hate Halliburton because apparently he only talks when he's ahead. But he wouldn't fake it in, even if that was true, and he's just this little wuss that you guys all think he is. He wouldn't fake an injury just because he's down. He'd still play the games. You guys act like he's the evilest player in the world, and it doesn't make any sense. 4. Let's move away from the fans here, and let's move on to the actual NBA itself. 4. The announcers. They never talked about us at all. They never talked about us. If you go back to what? All the ESPN things, all the ESPN broadcasts, they never talked about us once. There's a clip during a halftime show in Game 7 of the Knicks where we were putting up a historic offense, which, by the way, we had the best field goal percentage of all NBA playoff history, Game 7 against the Knicks. Just putting that out there. Where one of the hosts were talking about how, oh, the Pacers have been doing great. What are your thoughts? And then he goes to talk about the Knicks. The host asks about the Pacers, and he talks about the Knicks. Every time in the ESPN broadcast, they only talked about the other team. They never talked about us when we were up. They never talked about us when we were down. They always just said, oh, Celtics this, Knicks that, Bucks this, Bucks that. They never talked about us. They never cared about us. And this moves back earlier in the year. Earlier in the year, no one talked about us at all because no one cared about us. They only cared when we actually did something. And when we did something, everyone just called us frauds. So, we've been a small market, off the market team. And when we start winning and we start doing something, we get called frauds. Example 5. The refs. We're not gonna waltz past the refs. You see, in the thumbnail of the video is Jaylen Brown absolutely murdering TJ McConnell. And that's just a common foul. Even if the guy didn't mean to do it. If he didn't mean to do it, that is still a flagrant foul. And before you guys say anything, yes, I know. Someone on the Celtics was unintentionally kicked by one of our members. And obviously, that wasn't called a flagrant either. I definitely think that probably should have been one too. I saw it. That probably should have been a flagrant too, if not a foul. But everyone knew that that was a flagrant foul. Everyone knew that Jaylen Brown clocking McConnell in the face was a flagrant foul. And yet the ref said, oh, while unfortunate, it did not reach the standards to be a flagrant. When it clearly did. It clearly was a flagrant foul. And that's just that. Let's talk about the free throw discrepancy. Let's go look back at Game 1. Game 1 team stats. Free throws. 9 of 10 to 24 and 30. It's not just this series either. It's every series. We never get free throws. We never get fouls called against us. Minor things that we do are fouls, while they can clock us in the face and not get called for anything. Back when the Knicks, we all saw Game 1 versus the Knicks. We all saw that, where the refs blatantly robbed us of the game, talking about how, oh, it was a kick ball when we literally saw the guy's hands hit the ball, and it wasn't even close to the guy's leg. We all saw that absolute robbery. We all know that the refs just love to give the opposing team a bunch of free throws magically. And I've also been seeing that, oh, it's because we don't play aggressive. The other team is just know how to not foul. And that just doesn't make any sense. 10 to 30 makes no sense. You want to know something worse? In that game one, before overtime, it was 24 to like 4. It's 24 to 4 or 24 to 3. I don't know which one. How does that make any sense to you? The refs never call anything for us. They always call for the other team. Whenever something clearly obvious, we have to even challenge it just for it to go through. And then when one call goes against the team we're playing, automatically it's Knicks versus refs. It's Celtics versus refs. How does that make any sense? 6. And finally, I want to talk about the Timberwolves. Okay? I want to talk about the Timberwolves. Game 4 is tonight, right? The Mavericks are up 3-0. The Mavericks are up 3-0. Okay? No one bats an eye. I've been seeing more people call Anthony Edwards a fraud than calling the Timberwolves a bad team. Now, Anthony Edwards is not having a good series. I know that. But it seems like no one's hating on the Timberwolves themselves. No one's hating that they're down 0-3. No one's talking or cares about anything when the Timberwolves are literally in the same exact situation that the Pacers were, but the Pacers get all the hate, and the only one that gets hate for the Timberwolves is Anthony Edwards, who, mind you, is a young player. So, with all that added together, I'm not telling you that you have to like the Pacers as a team. I'm not telling you that the Pacers are the best team in the league and that we deserve to go win every series in 4 and should have won the NBA Finals. In fact, you can talk to a majority of the Pacers fans about this. We didn't even think we were going to get past the Knicks, to be honest. And everyone you see says that we would either know that they're delusional or actually delusional. No serious Pacers fan thought we were making it past the Celtics. A majority of Pacers fans thought we weren't even making it past the Knicks. And I know there's some Pacers fans who thought we would lose to the Bucks. It's not like the Pacers fans are all of a sudden, oh, we're the best team in the entire West and the East combined. We're just the best team ever. Designed just ever. No team can beat us. We're better than the 7-9 Wolves. Not the Wolves. The Warriors. We're better than the 72-10 Bulls. We're better than every single team in the entire league. And we deserve to beat the Celtics, obviously. No one is saying that. No one's even mad or saying that we lost because Hallie was injured. Now, you might find a few dumb Pacers fans that would say that. And I'm going to put this out right here. They're stupid. Because injuries are a part of the game. The majority of Pacers fans that I saw, at least, when Hallie got re-injured, was like, season's over. Season's over. Wrap it up. It was a good season. And you want to know the secret? We don't care about all the hate. We don't care that we didn't deserve to be here, according to everyone in the NBA in general. We don't care. The only thing we cared about is getting playoff minutes for our young squad. That's what we really cared about. That's what everyone was saying before the playoffs. We never thought that we were going to make it here. It's honestly very beneficial to our team that we did. We needed the playoff minutes for this young team. We have a good roster. And if we can build up, we can get some pieces in the offseason. With these playoff minutes, we can be contenders. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that we deserve to win now. I'm saying we did all this to win later. That's my thesis. If you disagree, which I know you probably disagree, you can say it in the comments. I'm not trying to argue. I'm just happy to be here. And otherwise, I don't really have anything else to say. So, see you in the next video. Peace.